Part 2, most commonly asked questions about the Nomad PDU. We're finished on number 2. Let's move on to number 3. Is can you charge a unit while running the fridge at the same time? Yes, absolutely you can. You'll find over here the real red light goes on. That means it's charging. What will happen is you plug the fridge in and you've got more voltage coming out of the unit to go to the fridge. This light can go on and off depending on the use of the fridge. It may bypass and go through to the fridge and just top up as required, so that light could go on and off. So yes, absolutely it's designed. Run the fridge while you're charging it by the solar or by when you're charging it from the car. What are the maximum outputs the Nomad PDU can provide? All the outputs on the unit are 10 amp. This one over here is a V4. Every output on this unit is a maximum of 10 amp. The unit total maximum at any given time is 20 amp. And that's the same with the V5. Maximum of 10 amp outputs on all of them. However, with the V5, which is one with all the colours around it, the output over here now can give you a maximum of 20 amp. However, the max output at any given time is still 20 amp. You cannot exceed that, okay? The unit will shut down. It's got protection for an overdraw, so the whole point is just don't try and exceed it, even though it will protect the solar. 20 amp max across the whole unit at any given time. All the Sigma sockets and angles, etc., all 10 amp outputs, except for the V5. The new one has a 20 amp Anderson output, so some of the higher amperage products that you might want to be using could be things such as an inverter or even a blender, for example. Can you charge a Nomad PDU with an inverter? And will my car inverter be able to charge the unit? Yes, you can charge the unit with an inverter. This is a pocket inverter. Typically, we've covered this off before. You've got a small one like this. It's probably one of the smaller ones. It's a 150 watt inverter. Yes, you could plug this into the car. In fact, we still actually recommend this as one of the most ideal ways to charge your unit. And what you can do with that is then plug your AC/DC charger in, for example, which I've got here, and then simply put this into the car and then plug this unit into here. Okay, this unit is an 8 amp charger. It will draw 109 watt. This is a 150 watt inverter, and because it's up against, I guess, the upper range of the unit capacity, I wouldn't run this for 8 hours. I would run it for a couple of hours and then give it a break. You've got to remember that if you're running a fridge, for example, and it's pulling out only 2 or 3 amp, or not even 2 amp when you're driving, this is putting in 8 to 10 amp. So the whole point is it's only drawing out a little bit and putting a heap more back in. So putting it in for a couple of hours is probably giving you enough to be fully charged at night. So that's the AC/DC charger running off an inverter. You can upgrade to 200 to 300 watt inverter, which we'd recommend. However, as with our other tutorials, we explain you do need to upgrade your cabling in your vehicle. The other question with the inverters is about can you use it from the car inverter. Many of the four-wheel drive inverters that are built into the vehicles have only got 2mm cable or 2.5, 3mm cable running to an inverter that's only rated at 100 watt. You need to look at your owner's manual to find out that if that's the case. If it's 100 watts, then you are plugging a 109 watt charger into the 100 watt inverter, so you're more than likely going to burn that inverter out. So it's something to be aware of with inverters. But yes, absolutely you can charge minimum 150 watt, but don't over use this for say 8 or 10 hours every day. Use it for a couple of hours here and there to top it up. The 8 amp charger that comes with it, the AC/DC, will give you a good 8 to 10. It actually will give you 10 and a bit amp charge. So that's an inverter and how to use it, for example. You do get 200 and 300 watt inverters projected to some, and talk to the retailers, they'll have them in stock. What other ways can the Nomad PDU be charged from the vehicle? You can charge it now with a DC-DC kit, which you can buy from any of the retailers. It comes with a unit that will regulate the charge. It'll regulate the charge to 10 amp. And it'll be a constant charge specific for lithium, which is what this is. So it'll actually get a nice 10 amp charge from the vehicle and push it into the unit here. Most importantly though, with any of these units, and I should have covered those up first, you need to read the instructions. And the reason being is it's not like you're buying yourself a video recorder, which we all throw the instructions away for. It is an electronic product that you need to understand how it works so you can get the most out of it, and more importantly, you don't damage the unit, for example. So the other ways that you can charge the unit from the vehicle, yes, the DC-DC charger. Again, you can have a solar panel on the roof, and you can also do it from the AC/DC, the AC/DC charger through an inverter, then the DC-DC. Yes, you can direct feed a charge into the unit, but you must have with the V5 you must have a 10 amp fuse and you plug it into the regulated port from the vehicle. You must have a 10 amp fuse. Nothing higher for the V5. And with the V4 over here, if you're going to connect to this unit here, you want to have a 5 amp fuse because it will go at 10 amp. You have to remember the maximum charge rate of the unit, the V4, is 10 amp at any given time. And again over here we'll talk further about further down the track here. So yes, you can charge it, and we'll talk about that charging a little bit further in a moment. Can you use your current DC 20 or 40 amp charger? No, you can't. It's built for an AGM gel lead acid, for example. You can't use that for this unit because when you connect to this unit, this also has a BMS internally, so they won't communicate with each other, and the charger is not designed for lithium. So if you have a projector or a red arc or something like that in the vehicle that's for your AGMs and so on, you can't plug it in and think that I'm going to charge it at 40 amp. The maximum charge rate of these is maximum 10 amp on the V4, okay, and you charge it by either unregulated or the regulated inputs. Over here again, the unregulated input is 10 amp max rate. They have an MPPT controller built in. Again, we'll talk about that on another question. So can you charge the unit by solar, and what settings should I put it on if there's no lithium available? If you're charging a unit by solar and you don't have a lithium switch on the actual solar panel, it just says lead acid or gel, put it on gel. And then it will charge fine, okay? You don't necessarily have to have the lithium. And if it's got an MPPT, it's a regulated panel. If it's a regulated panel, you plug it into the regulated input on this one or on this one here. So again, we're up to number 7 now. We'll cut over now to the third tutorial on this. We'll probably end up getting to 4. We'll cover those off in detail, including the regulated, unregulated charging. So we'll come back in a moment.